The question we've all been asking this July, which movie's going to win the box office? Jurassic World Rebirth, Superman, Fantastic Four. That question has basically already been answered. Jurassic World Rebirth is going to win in July. So really, it's down to these two superhero movies, both of which mean a lot for the companies in question, Marvel and DC, both of which needed to have big performances. One is the starting of a new universe with a lot riding on it, with such heavy promotion. The other one, Fantastic Four, is the lead-in, the last movie that is a lead-in to Avengers Doomsday, which they're staking a lot on. A lot of money is going into making those movies, and they need to be massive hits. They need the audience to be excited. Is Fantastic Four going to do it? We talked about it. Looked like it might sneak past Superman's opening weekend. It ends up being essentially exactly the same as Superman's opening weekend. $218 million. Now, we haven't seen the finalized numbers, so that could go up by a couple million, could go down by a couple million. Remember, Superman was reported initially at 217, went up to 220. But Fantastic Four almost has the exact same fucking opening as Superman. And so I have to say basically the same thing about it. It's kind of weak. Kind of a weak opening for Fantastic Four at the box office. Now, it did not have the same split domestic to international, a little bit closer for those. Instead of 125 domestic and 95 international, opens to 118 and 100, but still very soft in Asia. China and Korea don't give a fuck about this movie, kind of like they didn't give a fuck about Superman. But when you put it in perspective, opens almost exactly the same as Superman, but we got to use some other Marvel movies as a reference to why I don't think that this should be a satisfying opening weekend for this type of movie. Captain America opened to 192 million globally. So bullish. Certainly a little, bullish. Certainly a little more than that. A couple tens of millions of dollars more than that. But not like flying past or anything. This is a movie that barely cracked $400 million at the box office. $218 million opening is less than Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, which failed to even reach $500 million at the box office. And it's certainly a long way from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which I think that it actually was closer to $290 million when they got those updated numbers based on a massive international audience and massive international numbers. I liked this movie overall. I think you gave it about a 6 out of a 10. That's about what I would give it as well. I liked it more than Superman. This is not enough. And now you have to desperately hope that it has the same type of hold as Superman. And I just don't know if that's going to be possible for this movie, for it to have the same type of weekday holds that Superman did domestically, which were very, very good for Superman. I don't know if that's possible for this movie, even though I like it more. But I don't know, 218 million. Do you think that that's what Marvel is hoping for this thing that's starting a new superhero team and leading into the biggest movie they've had in 6 years?
The only thing that's going to carry this film over is a lot of positive word of mouth that will probably push it over to where it needs to be. But just imagine you have characters such as Superman, Fantastic Four, Galactus at your disposal, and you can't beat out a subpar dinosaur movie with a lower budget at the box office. That is incredible. That should be the story right there. And then the fact that headlines like this, can the Fantastic Four save Marvel's very rough? But when Captain America came out, they're all saying, man, what a success Captain America is. Marvel's back. It's like they can't make their mind up when it comes to Disney films, honestly. But, man, the fact that a subpar dinosaur movie that was basically disrupted by a Snicker wrapper and a lower budget is beating characters such as Superman, Fantastic Four, and others at the box office. That alone should be alarming, honestly. Well, that alone.
And I like how, Warner Brothers sat there and was like, well, Superman is known as an all-American hero. That's why it didn't perform well internationally. And it's like all this bullshit. I don't think Fantastic Four can use that same excuse. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think the Fantastic Four I don't think they're going to be able to work that in. the truth is, now Fantastic Four did better in Europe in general, except for basically the UK, than Superman did. Superman did really well in Latin America. Fantastic Four did okay in Latin America. Both of them did shitty in Asia.
Yeah.
They both did shitty in Asia. And I think it has a lot to do with China and Korea making so much of their own content now and not caring as much about some stuff coming from Hollywood. Now, you still can't pull numbers over there, as we saw with Jurassic World Rebirth, but it's nothing compared to the numbers that we saw even for movies like that a few years ago. And I think specifically when it comes to these superhero movies, I think a lot of the Asian audience has become very disinterested in it. And they only have themselves to blame, right? It's not like they saw stuff that they loved over and over again and they loved it so much and all of a sudden a switch got flipped and they don't like it anymore. It's that the product has been bad for fucking years. And that's what caused them to be disinterested. Now you have a similar thing going on kind of everywhere else. But it does seem more pronounced there. And maybe it's because of them producing so much of their own shit. But Superman, I said Superman's opening weekend was weak, and I meant it. I got to say the same thing about this one because it's almost exactly the fucking same.
Yeah, I agree. The product has been, we've all said it. It's been bad. It's been damaged. Nobody cares. People walked away. They went through that whole period of got to do your homework and you'll enjoy this film a lot more. And people were like, screw that. I'm out. I watch a movie so I don't have to do homework. I'm not buying all your other stuff. It is unique that on Friday, I believe you pointed out that they were very clear to say you don't need any homework to watch this film, letting people know, come back to the theater. You don't have to watch any Disney Plus stuff. You don't have to read any books. You have to do any of that. But no. Damaged product, man.
It is a damaged product. And again, this is important. This is the last movie that leads into Doomsday. Because there is another Marvel movie coming out, which will be Spider-Man Home Alone, whatever the fuck it's called. But that has nothing to do with leading into Doomsday. Because if you remember, it was supposed to come out after Doomsday before they delayed that movie. So it is not supposed to be a tie-in. It was supposed to be taking place during the events of Avengers Doomsday while everybody else is doing all this stuff. And there's a Spider-Man story set kind of grounded in New York. So if you're expecting to get a lean into Doomsday with that, that's not going to be the case. And
don't you feel like this is
not
all
very impressive?
Don't you feel like this whole Doomsday thing, it's like really being rushed, right? It's like they really got to have a hit on their hands to save what's ever left. Man, we got to have $1 billion banger or this whole thing is in the toilet because nothing is working since Endgame. Did Deadpool made $1 billion, right? Deadpool and Wolverine? Yeah.
Like 1.3 or something.
Spider-Man and Deadpool and Wolverine, but those are like nostalgia hits.
That's what they're hoping this one to be too. This is basically the biggest nostalgia hit you could imagine, right?
Yeah.
And it 100% is being rushed. Look, they started filming in April. They have not finished the script. It's not done. They just hired Michael Waldron to help with the script. Rebecca Romijn, who's coming back to play Mystique, still looks great, by the way, was asked, if she's done shooting for Avengers Doomsday. And she's like, honestly, I don't know because they haven't finished the script yet. So I don't know if I'm done shooting. We're like 4 months into production. This is the Marvel way. We'll write it as we go. And it has not worked out very well for them the past 5 years.
I don't know if like that is even going to be the big bang they're looking for, because then what do they do? Infinity Wars after that? Like they're gonna pull out and like squeeze whatever juice they can after this old lemon. Maybe bring back the old Captain America and everybody into these last few films to see if they could squeeze another dollar out of people.